Welcome back to another video. It's the Digital Worm here, and today we'll be looking at Android 10 for the Nokia 6.1. So it's been a few months since the launch of Android 10. Now finally, users of the Nokia 6.1, as you can see in this video, the users of the Nokia 7 Plus, the 8.1 already got it, 6.1 Plus, and many other phones to come will get Android 10 in the coming months or so. So yeah, here's one of the first devices of the Nokia 2018 lineup that was updated to Android 10 today. And as you can see, I've already updated this device. Now note that this is not my device, so I'm not going to show everything into every detail, as there's some private stuff on here. Anyways, this video will not be processed or anything. I mean, I'll add some effects in the beginning, but this video will not be cut or anything, because the point here is to show you guys how well this OS performs on the Nokia 6. So let's get started with the new features. Now, one of the most awaited features in Android has always been a dark mode. I mean, for those people who like to use their phones in the dark, like me, or maybe people who just like the general aesthetic, the look of it, now you have a native system-wide dark mode that's available in Android 10. So to activate it, you have to go to display, and as you can see, below wallpaper, we have an entry called dark theme. If you toggle that on, it will show you a dialog saying apps will reflect this change if they support a dark theme. So as you can see, even the settings app, the system settings app, the notification center, even the notifications themselves have become dark. Basically, any app that supports dark theme natively in the application will reflect this change. If you don't like the dark mode, you can always switch it off here. Now sadly, even though they included a dark theme, they haven't included an option to automatically switch from a dark to light theme with the corresponding time. So that's a bit sad right there, but it's available nevertheless, so you gotta congratulate them for that. The next feature I want to show you guys is, of course, the new navigational system. Now this is quite a heated topic of debate, as some people think it's just a cheap ripoff of the iPhone navigation system, and it just doesn't work well with Android. Well, I'm happy to say, with my limited experience and time to try out this new gesture system, I found it to be quite reliable. So what are the gestures? Now, if you have used an iPhone before, this will be very familiar with you, but you haven't, then here's what you need to do. So basically, it's the same as iPhone. You hold your finger at the bottom bezel right here, slide up and hold in order to access your recent apps. As you can see here, you can do the same as before, tap on that to split screen, etc. and etc. Yeah, the app switcher itself is still the same, so there's that, but that's how you access the multitasking screen. To activate the Google Assistant, you no longer hold the home button. There's no home button anymore. So what you do is you slide from either one of these corners. This corner, as you can see, it activates the Google Assistant, or this corner, which also does the same thing. Now, it's less convenient than having a button to press on, but it works, it's there, and it's nice. So for example, let's go into an app. For example, let's go into the settings app. You want to exit this app, all you have to do, slide it all the way. As you can see, the app the gesture system traces your fingers, and let me show you that again. Traces your fingers and kind of gives that elastic boomerang effect when you exit the app. One more thing I want to show you with this new gesture system is how you can enable it. So you can go to gesture, let's go back. So as you can see, that's how you go back. With the new gesture system. So to activate the new gesture system, all you have to do is open settings, go down to system, gestures, and go to system navigation. Now, 2-button navigation is what you used to use on Android Pie. Now, I really didn't find that navigation system effective at all. I found it really confusing, and I would end up switching back to 3-button navigation. But with this a new gesture navigation option, I feel like they're taking a right step towards a more user-friendly OS, since this shares a lot of commonality with the iOS navigational system. So I don't know, some might feel like it's just a cheap imitation of what Apple's doing, but I feel like it's a very welcome change, and it actually makes you it makes the use of the phone much more friendly to newcomers, especially those who are switching from iOS. But if you're a veteran Android user and you do not want that, you can always switch back to free button navigation. As you can see, if I tap on it, it will take a moment. The navigation bar will be replaced with the buttons. Now I don't want that, so I'm going to switch back to gesture navigation. Now you can also change how sensitive the back navigation gesture is. So as you can see, at the default, I find it to be perfectly usable, and it's enough for me. So many of you guys also might have known about the difficulties in accessing hamburger menus with this new gesture system. So let me show you how you do it with this new gesture system. All you do is hold, and yeah, I got it on first try. So what you have to do on this phone is to hold this, as you can see, this black bezel part over here. Just hold it and then slide. So it will not activate the back gesture, and it will activate the hamburger menu. Works around 90% of the time for me. With the limited time I had to try Android 10 with this device, but you get the idea. Now, moving on, Android 10 has much better privacy settings. Namely, it allows you to choose if an app can access location while it's open or never, or it can access it all the time, which is a very welcome change, since I really do not like the way Android treats permissions. And yeah, it's much better now. It even gives you a dedicated page in the settings menu to adjust these permission and privacy settings, which I find a great step, which is quite the opposite of Google, in fact, because they collect your data for advertisements and such, and some of they're baking privacy features into their operating system. Anyways, that's out of the point here. Let's go ahead and check out the new location settings. As you can see, I have a variety of apps on this device, and some of them are allowed to access the location for all the time. For example, Waze. If I'm navigating an exit out of the app, I still want it to tell me directions, even though it's in the background. So I leave that enabled. Some apps over here require it because they need to share the location. For example, Telegram has sent someone a location, my current location, and they would expect to be able to track me while I have it shared. So I leave it in allowed all the time. For apps that I don't need to use location for all the time, I use that's this. Okay. For apps that I do not need to use all the time with location, I can leave it in allowed only while in use. What this does is it limits, actually it blocks background location usage, so apps can't really track you around or do something if you do not intend for it to do so. So for example, camera over here, of course when I take a photo, I want the photo to be tagged with where I took it, so that it makes it easier for me to organize it in the future. So I'll leave the camera app to only use location while it's used, because why would it need my location while I don't even take any photos? Also Chrome, some websites you can allow it to access your location, but generally I do not want Chrome to access my location like all the time, because these websites can also access my location. My phone, I don't know why it needs location. Viber, because it does not support sharing location as far as I know of. WhatsApp, same thing, because WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. Basically anything is made by Facebook, you should put it in allowed only while in use or denied. And yeah, some other apps here. We have a lot of apps that don't have access to location here, which is a good thing. They can't track me all the time. And yeah, overall, this new permission manager is of incredible change for Android 10. It makes the experience of managing your privacy, the amount of data an app can access and glean from your device, makes it so much easier in Android 10. and it presents it in a very easy to understand manner too. You don't have to go into the app information itself to edit these permissions. They are just right there on the spot for you to edit. And yeah, that's basically it for the changes you see on the hood. If you go under the hood, oh wait, I forgot one thing. You also have digital well-being. Well, this is also rolled out to Android 9 and above, so I wouldn't call it exactly a thing here, but as you can see, digital well-being is disabled on this device because the owner of this device does not use that feature. So I want to talk about some things that don't apply specifically to this device, but apply to Android 10 in general. Now, Android 10 now supports native foldable phones, so if you've got something like a Galaxy Fold, once you upgrade to Android 10, it's a much more usable and tolerable experience under Android 10. There's also, aside from 5G support, there's also a number of under-the-hood changes that basically enhances the speed of the phone as usual. As you can see throughout this video, the phone has been performing extra smooth, and namely Android 10 is more of a refinement than a feature packed update. It's more of like enhancing the Android experience and enhancing your privacy, enhancing the controls you have on your device. Basically, it gives more control to the user, and it also makes navigation easier, and it introduces a dark theme, which somehow everyone likes, and one of them is also me. Anyways, that's it for the Android 10 review for this device. Drop me any questions in the description below. What should I test next with Android 10 on this device or any other device you want to see? Leave in the comments below. You can always donate to me on PayPal. The link is all everywhere over my channel, even in the description of this video. So if you want me to do a specific video about the device, donate to me some cash below. I'll try my best to cover it on this channel. So that's it for the Android 10 review for the Nokia 6.1. And hope to see you again soon on this channel. Click subscribe, like. I'll see you again soon.